We're anxious to hear it. It's the weekday after Origins or Free RPG Day. Hopefully there's some good news. Oh, wait, there's not. I don't know. I just felt like jazzing it up today. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live at 8:35 in the morning here from Site B on the 24th day of June, 2024. It is gorgeous outside. Bright, sunny, blue sky, nice breeze, a perfect beach day. Enjoy it while it lasts, because June gloom is right around the corner, and soon I'll be complaining about how humid it is. Speaking of complaining, it's time for the news. All the tabletop role-playing game news stories that we're going to chart our course by this week to see what controversies are going to upset us. So let's take out our maps and sextants and take a look. Now, there is a big story that we are all focused on, which of course is the sneak peeks of the upcoming art from the new Dungeons & Dragons 2024, and it has ruffled a few feathers, to say the least. But while we have been obsessing over this art, we missed a much less covered but much more important story. And we're still waiting for all the facts. I'm only going on one article that I found and a video that Dungeon Discourse did the other day in her usual tongue-in-cheek manner about the shutting down of the Dicebreaker site. So I went to the Dicebreaker site to see if there's any news. There wasn't. The Dicebreaker site hasn't been updated since May 12th. According to this article, the rumors coming out of Origins and what Dungeons Discourse said, Dicebreaker's new owners have decided that the staff is redundant. So they are gone as far as we know. How do we know this? Because there was supposed to be a Dicebreaker sponsored convention over the weekend, and that convention was canceled. People were already in transit, had already spent money, were already on their way and very excited about the Dicebreakers convention, but the convention entirety gone. Now, hopefully those people will be able to get reimbursement for their tickets at least, and maybe the airfare. But more importantly is, of course, the shutting down of Dicebreaker, if this is true. Now, who is Dicebreaker and why is this important? Dicebreaker is a tabletop role-playing game news site. It is and board game and card game site. It's very well respected. It's been around for a while, at least 8 years, maybe longer. I mean, their post-Critical Role with a name like Dicebreaker. But Dicebreaker was very unique. It was one of the few sites that carried news about other companies. They didn't just kowtow to Wizards of the Coast and Paizo like many of the other news sites, including myself, do. They tried really hard to shine a light on lesser-known games, lesser-known publishers, lesser-known artists, lesser-known collectible card games. They would review and talk about at least one independent, smaller RPG every week and one independent, smaller board game every week. They did interviews. They did a whole bunch of stuff. They were extremely influential in the tabletop role-playing game news. In fact, when I do my daily search for stories to talk about, Dicebreaker is the second site I go to. I go EN World is first, Dicebreaker is second, Bell of Lost Soul is third, and then I just do tabletop role-playing game news to see if I missed anything. But yeah, they were always on point, and they were always the site to go to if you wanted to find out about stuff going on besides that. In fact, the whole thing of the Dungeons & Dragons 2027 June 6X, that was a thread that I originally started following, one, because I'm a shareholder, and two, because of something I saw on Dicebreakers. And when I started following that thread back in 2020 to find out more about this mysterious Dungeons & Dragons 6X that's coming out in 2027. Unfortunately, is this true? Don't know. 100% do not know. The latest story is from June 12th. It's June 24th. I can't find anything else. We do know as of the June 13th, several members of the staff have been let go, including Liv Kennedy, Michael Wellen, Maddie Cullen. On the 13th, Kennedy tweeted that Dicebreakers was over. IGN bought them out, I guess, and has decided that the staff, writers, everybody associated with it is redundant because they'll be doing it. IGN being the Internet Gaming News Network. Let's see. We've got that we know that they were bought in May. There's been no uploads to any of the sites in at least 3 weeks. The owners have not responded to any requests for updates, but we do know, at least according to Dungeons Discourse, our lovely friend from Ireland, Scotland, wherever she lives, that the con didn't happen. The members have been declared redundant, and apparently Dicebreakers is no more. Why is this important, OGGM? What the fuck do we care? It's very important for two reasons. One, because they were one of the few tabletop role-playing game sites that covered independent, small press, news we might not have heard otherwise. With the continued glut of Wizards of the Coast news, which we'll get to in just a second, and Paizo news and other of the the big guys, DC 20 news now, there is always stories we miss, and Dicebreaker was the one that covered the smaller independent companies like me. I mean, they even talk, so. And two, more importantly, is because of changes to the internet and how AI things and how Google is saying things like now stuff is their property and stuff like that. Dicebreakers was one of the few companies that was reporting on this, reporting on the changes and the draconian changes to Google policies, AI policies, Adobe policies, Wizards of the Coast policies. A lot of the times when I give you news about the shitty shit that Wizards of the Coast is up to, and people say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, OGGM, that's not true. It's because Dicebreakers did the work for me, or because I still hold one share of Wizards of the Coast stock, which is enough for me to be able to access the shareholders' information. So, yeah, that's very sad, and it is going to affect us greatly if it's not affecting us already, as the monopoly on tabletop role-playing game news is held by Wizards of the Coast approved sites. So it's going to be less and less a chance of you hearing stuff about other game companies, with the exception of I'm going to continue to try for as long as I can, but we'll see how long I can. Remember, of course, if you help me hit 2,000 subs by August 4th, I will dedicate an entire month to every game company but Wizards of the Coast. I will take an entire month off where I do not talk about Wizards of the Coast in any way, shape, or form. And the only way you can make that happen is to help me hit 2,000 subs. So if you haven't subbed yet, still sub. Interesting that the only real news that we've been focusing on all week is the art, because there's another story that came out, and I went over it briefly. But other than that, no one's really covered it except for Morris and company. And that's Evil Genius Games breaking their promise about cryptocurrency. As we know, Evil Genius Games, as recently as 2 months ago, made it very clear that they were not going to use cryptocurrency. They were not going to use NFTs. They were not going to use AI art. They were going to, or AI writers. They signed a treaties, an official pledge. They posted it online. Now, was that a legally binding document? I don't know, but it was a declaration of intent. And then just recently, the owner of Evil Genius Games said, nah, fuck that. We're going to make cryptocurrency. We're going to make NFTs, and we're going to use AI art. So there's that story, but we kind of missed that because we've been focusing on the art. We also know that there's going to be a brand new map for the World of Greyhawk and the Dungeon Master's Guide that's coming out for 2024 D&D, and it's going to be completely changed because any references to previous Greyhawk stuff that anybody might have found questionable have been erased, including place names, cultures names, species names, but it's not a new game. We do know now that we have everything that's been changed about the fighter class, everything that's been changed about the paladin class, everybody that's been changed about the barbarian class. We have 48 character options now available for the brand new D&D. They have changed the cosmology of D&D. So everything you think you knew about Dungeons and Dragons will change. Then despite them constantly informing us that it is not a new edition, it is a new edition, guys. There's a new SRD, which means it's a new edition. So yeah, I'm sorry. You can continue to believe the bullshit, but it's not. Now we will, of course, get to the main story we are all upset about, which I'm saving it for last because everybody and their dog has already talked about it. And that's the art. And first and foremost, of course, we have our California missionary Orcs standing on Vasquez Rock. These are the brand new Orcs. And people are all, why are you guys so upset? I would think Old West Orcs are fucking cool. Why are you guys so upset? They're Orcs. You don't have to use them. Why are you so upset? People think we're upset because of the art. We're not upset about the art. Actually, the art is fucking cool, except, of course, it just makes the Orcs look like white folk in, Hispanic missionary costume from the, the gold rush times. If you've ever been to any of the missions along the California coast or some of the other missions along the Mexico-Tex border, you will see artwork that looks exactly like this. And that's Vasquez Rocks of Star Trek fame. So, yeah, people are all like, why do you, and we're like, you know what, guys? We're not upset about the art. Okay, it's the message of the art that we're upset about. Weird West Deadland Orcs that look like gauchos. That's fucking cool. I mean, I've already done my Orc motorcycle gang on combat wheelchairs. I have no problem doing Weird West Gaucho Orcs, doing all the same things that the missionaries did during that period of time. No, the problem everybody has, guys, is Wizards of the Coast, as they continue to erase any connection between Dungeons and Dragons and the past history, made it repeatedly clear that they were not cool with the perception of Orcs as a racist stereotype for certain species, right? That was the whole big thing, that Orcs were evil. Therefore, if you saw yourself in an Orc, you were saying that, oh, because I have dark skin, I'm evil. Because I look like this, I'm evil. Orcs were considered racist. Now, this, of course, has been disproven multiple times by people far smarter than myself. But this was, of course, the agenda that Wizards of the Coast was pushing, that they no longer wanted Dungeons and Dragons to have any connection to imperialism, colonization, the acquisition and appropriation of other species or other histories. They wanted to whitewash away any connection from anything that might have been concerning. And they wanted to present the races in a brand new way that nobody would say that's racist. Nobody would say that's inappropriate. Nobody would say, hey, you're making fun of me. So, of all the choices they could have made to represent Orcs now as no longer, a racist stereotype, they choose a racist stereotype of individuals who are highly associated with everything they claim they no longer want to be associated with. Because I assure you guys, when the gauchos and the Spanish missionaries came through California and encountered the indigenous people, they slaughtered them. Okay, the Chumash, the tribe here in Ventura, yeah, those missionaries, yeah, they you know how they appropriated their culture? They slaughtered them. Now, the second, of course, is that the Orcs now just look like white people in costumes. And wasn't that the whole point of changing the species so they no longer look like white people in costumes? They're white people in costumes. Okay, so this is why we're upset about the art, guys. It's not because they changed him to Weird West Deadlands Orcs. In fact, Weird West Cowboy, Gaucho, Deadlands, Conquistador, Spanish Missionary Orcs, I think that's fucking cool. If I was running Deadlands, I'd add them in. The issue is that they're being hypocrites, as RPG Grandma says right here. You wanted to change it because you wanted to no longer be associated with that representation and that imagery, the stuff that Connie Chang is always talking about, and you chose to do the exact thing you said you were no longer going to be associated with, because this is racial appropriation, and this is associating with a group of individuals who are more associated with the idea of colonization. I mean, the Spanish missionaries. So that's that piece of art we're upset about. Moving on to the next piece of art that we're upset about. The next one we're upset about is the changes to the dwarves. And this one I'm not so sure about. You have to look at it really closely to see what it is that people are upset about. So this is the artwork for the dwarves. These are the new Saturday morning cartoon dwarves. People have said, why are they wearing oven mitts and not blacksmith gloves? And other people have said, why would a dwarf need to wear oven mitts? Don't they have a natural resistance to the fire? Then we've got this dwarf over here who is, somebody said, shooting up drugs, but no, it's he's doing the filigree on this. Then we've got this strange looking baby dwarf, I think, with glasses. But and then we've got the dwarf bringing the cookies. And I think that's the reason why people are upset, is because they don't want orcs represented as baristas anymore, I guess. The whole, orcs don't cook. But then if you look really, really close, you will notice that this guy has a tattoo, and this guy has a tattoo, and this guy's tattoo is of this guy's beard, and this guy's tattoo is of this guy's beard. So I think people are saying, are these guys a couple? Are you showing gay dwarves? Would there be gay dwarves? Would a gay couple ever do that in real life? I have known dozens of gay couples. And yes, maybe your name, but tattooing your partner's beard? That's just dumb. Are you saying their beards, which is a certain type of homosexual male? Is that what you're saying? Or I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to imply that these are two homosexual orcs, dwarves, this is probably not the best way to do it. And I don't think it was really necessary. And I'm sure there are LGBTQ people out there who are going, what the fuck? But I think, more importantly is just what is going on in this picture. Why are they wearing oven mitts and not blacksmith gloves? Why would they even need oven mitts? Because they're, dwarves. We also have the Asian dwarf over here. We've got Asian dwarf over here. I guess we got whoever this is over here, baby dwarf. We've got Aragorn and Gladriel outside over here. I guess they're ordering something, and he's doing the filigree. And yeah, so I think people are upset about the beard, which I guess is supposed to maybe imply that they're boyfriend. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know any homosexual couple who have ever said, you know what, let's get our beards tattooed on each other's arms to show how much we love each other, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but I think we're upset because the implication that there are gay dwarves, or the implication that there would be a dwarf that would be making cookies, So that one's questionable. I'm not as questionable as that one as I am at the first one. I could see why, I guess, people are upset. And then finally, we have the elves. And why are we upset about this one? Because there's dark-skinned elves. We have a drow over here. This could be we have a drow over here, but we also have a dark-skinned elf over here. We have two female elves walking hand in hand. We've got some elves over here doing elvish stuff. You will notice that if there's any questions that this is AI art, So people, you know, if you had any questions that this was not AI art, if you want to know the big thing about this picture, it's this right here. What the fuck is going on with this woman's arms? Oh no, it's not AI art. It is so AI art. Her arm is bending completely the way an arm should not bend. Her fingers are somehow going straight through the other individual's fingers, she has no fingers, by the way. You'll notice on this hand, no fingers at all. On this hand, somehow she is bending her arm in a way that just is impossible. I have no problem with, you know, elves loving men and also women, and elves being polyamorous. They're fucking elves. Of course elves are polyamorous. They live for thousands of years. You don't think that they're, you know, they're like, they get it on with each other, and boys and girls, and, you know, they're all about pleasure and leisure, and especially Dro, man. Now, maybe people are upset because you see Dro hanging out with the surface elves, but there's been surface dwarves, surface Dro for a while now. And we don't know if this is a surface, this, you know. So I think the only problem I have with this picture is this. I don't have any problem with a Asian elf and a whatever elf this is, vaguely bluish elf holding hands, because they're elves. They've always been polyamorous. No, the only problem with this picture is that. That's impossible. Well, maybe she's in control. Well, we are speaking about elves, and we know that elves are capable of doing anything. I mean, look at the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, and Legolas literally defy the laws of gravity. But even I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think Legolas can bend his arms in the ways no human hand can be bended. Maybe she's double jointed. No, I was just no. No, I'm trying it, and I'm double. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. That's just. I don't. Yeah, it's AI art, guys. It's AI art, or AI enhanced art. Also, this guy's got some weird fingers going on. He's got squid fingers. So yeah. Okay, here's another one. We have 1, 2, 3. three hands on this elf, this ginger elf, and this Dro elf. Now I got to go back and look at the other two. I knew about the hand, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait, is there more AI art? Okay. No, these guys all look pretty decent. But wait a minute, what's going on with Aragorn's hand? Oh no, he's just holding a cup. If this one's AI, I don't see any clues. Wait, maybe. Okay, that's uncomfortable, but it's doable. So not that one. All right, so this one doesn't have any AI art that I could find. What about our original? Yeah, this one looks pretty good. I can't see any AI art on that one. This one. So yeah, the dwarf one looks like that could have been painted. The orcs, that looks like somebody could have painted that, but the elves, that's definitely AI artists. Now, I don't care if there's gay dwarves. It's never come up in my games ever. You know, nobody's ever gone and questioned the sexuality. You know, if I'm running and romance happens, it's, you know, off screen. I don't want to hear about it. We know that adults do adult stuff, but, you know, I don't want to hear about it. Unless it's rape, then I don't allow that out. And if people want to have heterosexual, homosexual, polyamorous relationships in my game, that's fine. Don't care. I totally respect you. You are welcome to, you know, love whoever you love, man. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I mean, unless it's 100% appropriate to the scenario of the game, it probably, what does this have to do with the game? Who cares if they're gay? Right? So, yeah. Anybody who's complaining about the tattoo, I guess, are being homophobic. I mean, who cares? I mean, I would complain simply because I do not know any gay couple that has ever said, let's get each other's beards tattooed. What if I shave my beard off, Dave? What if people look at that and go, hey, whose beard is that on your arm? Is that Erwin's beard? Because that sure as hell doesn't look like Dave's beard. No, let's just get our names, okay? Let's just get our names. So that is the story. Now, obviously, the art thing is going to be probably the main story for the week, which is sad because we should really be focusing on the shutting down of Dicebreaker and the fact that, Evil Genius Games broke the very promise they made just like 2 months ago about AI art. But let's fucking face it. Everybody's going to use AI art going forward. Okay. We can't help it. It's a thing. It's going to happen. Just accept it. As long as they're open about it. I don't care if you're using AI art, just admit it. Yes, we used AI art, or we scrubbed this through AI art to improve upon it, or whatever. Because I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to do AI art, really tried, not the lazy shit that I do, but like really tried to make AI art look good, that is as much work as any other type of art, because that can range anywhere from like 10 minutes to an hour to get the commands just right in the AI art block to get the picture to look exactly like what you want. And then you got to double check to make sure it doesn't have fucked up hands like our elf over here, right? So yeah, AI art is work. I mean, not this lazy shit like my icon right here, but yeah, actual real work to make it look really good. Yeah, so we're going to use it. And I don't, at this point, don't care. Don't care. Go ahead, use it. It's like any other art tool. You have a tool at your availability. If you can use it, great. Just don't lie about it, right? Hey, we used the AI art in this game. Does anybody care? No, because you were truthful about it. Hey, we're making NFTs to make more money for a game company. Does anybody care? No, because at least you were, honest about it. Yes, the best of both worlds. If you can support real life artists, please do. If you're like me and can't draw to save your life and can't afford real life artists all the time, then AI art is a godsend. And I'm lazy, man. I'm happy with this. That's like, but yeah, whatever. Don't care about the sexuality of your character, really, unless it's important. If it's 100% important to the plot, then sure, we can glaze over it. But other than that, I don't want my game to turn into a fanfic shipping 50 Shades of Grey, unless that's we agreed we were all running a 50 Shades of Grey game, but then that would still be kind of gross. So I think that borders into a different type of role playing. I don't know. I should probably end it here. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, James K, please take a moment to subscribe. Help me hit 2,000 subs by August 4th, and we'll do something crazy. Until then, hopefully you appreciate this nonsense. If you do, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this ever again, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to check out my merch, please check out my merch. And have a great day. I will talk to you all later. I appreciate each and every one of you, except for that guy right there. Yeah, that guy's got to go.
Yo, check. Yeah, we're not the type to play games. You can stake claims. Came to show